Hi there, my name is Scott Lee Peterson, and welcome back to Drums and Discovery, a show for drummers by a drummer. Today, we're going to be going over 5 techniques that every drummer should try to master. If you're a new drummer, then these tips are going to take your skills to the next level. And if you're already a pro, keep watching anyway to see how your skills stack up. Alright, let's get started. Technique number 1, paradiddles. If drumming was math, and well, a lot of it is, paradiddles would be like basic long division. Sure, it might look confusing and complicated if you don't know what you're doing, but once you get the hang of it, it's something that you can apply in every aspect of your drumming. Paradiddles get their name from the way they're played. You start by hitting the snare once with your right stick, then once with your left, and end it with 2 hits with your right. Then you start again, but do it inversely this time, starting with your left. As you go, say the word paradiddle, like this. Paradiddle, 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 like this. See? Not too bad. It's amazing how beneficial this little rudiment can be. Practicing and mastering paradiddles can really help you learn stick control and technique that will help you in your drumming for years to come. If you're already used to doing paradiddles on your snare drum, then try to start incorporating it into your fills and beats. For this fill that I'm about to play, see if you can spot the paradiddle rhythm. And that's just the beginning. Learning paradiddles is the gateway to a lot more complex drumming. Alright, on to the next one. Technique number 2. Cross-sticking. This next technique is perfect for mellowing down your beat. As a drummer, it's important to be able to have control over your dynamics, or how loud or soft you play. Take it from me, your bandmates will thank you. To perform a cross-stick, go ahead and flip your stick upside down. Then take the pointy end of the stick and rest it in the center of the snare, allowing the fat end of the stick to hit the side of the snare with a really satisfying. Let's see a cross stick in action with this mellower, groovy little number. I don't think I could ever get tired of that sound. Technique number 3, ghost notes. Remember those dynamics I was telling you about earlier? Well, for this next technique, your stick control will really be coming into play. Ghost notes are soft hits of the snare drum in between your main accented hits. So if you were doing a basic 4/4 beat like this, I think we can all agree that eventually that beat becomes boring. But add in some ghost notes and suddenly you've elevated your performance and you look like a seasoned pro. To make your ghost notes really pop, you're going to want to accent your main hits of the snare. In this case, it would be the 2 and the 4. To do that, you're going to take your stick that you're hitting the snare with, in this case my left one, and you're going to have it higher up before you hit. This will give you more oomph, more velocity almost. And then for your ghost notes, you'll keep your stick closer to the snare head and almost let it drop. As you do that in between your main hits, you'll have ghost notes. It'll really spice up your beat. Let's take that beat that I played before and add in some ghost notes. See how much better it sounds. Technique number 4, flams. You heard me right, flam. Sure, the name might sound ungraceful, but this little rudiment sounds great by itself and even better once it's added in with the rest of your fills. To properly flam, and yes, I'm making it a verb now, you're going to want to take your left stick and keep it horizontal to your snare. Just an inch or 2 above it actually. Now your right stick is going to be higher up. Not quite vertical, but close to it. Now you're going to hit the snare drum with both. But before you do that, make sure that your left stick hits the snare right before your right stick does. You want it to sound like almost one beat, but it's going to have more width, more chunk. It's gonna be a chunky flam. Check it out. Simply riveting. Wait, you mean you're actually bored to tears? All right, Mr. or Mrs. Fancy Pants, go ahead and take that flam and move it around your drum set as you fill. Now you're onto something. Check it. That right there is the great thing about flams. They can be played all around your drum set as you fill, and they can even be done on different drums as long as your timing's right. It just gives your fill more chonk. Chonk, really? Technique number 5, hi-hat openings. Our last technique of the day has to do with our hi-hat. Now I'm sure we're all used to what a hi-hat sounds like when it's closed, especially since that's what's been in most of our beats up till today. But what really is unique is when you open the hi-hat. Now you have to use some control, but when you do it the right way, it makes a sound that can be easily incorporated into your beats, and it makes it sound really good. To properly open your hi-hat, you're gonna wanna keep your foot on the pedal. Just release the tension slightly. Don't do it too much though, or it's gonna sound like this. And nobody wants to hear that. As you do release your tension just slightly, go ahead and hit your hi-hat with your stick. Then right after that, you're gonna go ahead and put the tension back on the hi-hat. This will make a nice controlled hi-hat opening. It should sound like this. Doesn't that sound so sweet? When it comes to using open hi-hats in your beats, the possibilities are endless. But for this lesson, I'm gonna incorporate it into my fill to add in some funkiness, like this. And there you have it. Those are 5 techniques that every drummer should try to master. If you're a beginner, try incorporating some of these techniques into your repertoire. You'll be well on your way to wowing anyone who listens. And if you're already a pro, then try to use these techniques in more creative and interesting ways. Really, the possibilities are endless. Thanks so much for watching, fellow drumheads. Now I'm gonna play us out with one beat that incorporates all 5 techniques that we talked about today. And I'll see you back here next time on the next episode of Drums and Discovery.